So we've got Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Wandavision, and Loki. This trailer, I guess this isn't really a trailer. This is a teaser. It's only 30 seconds since for 3 different shows. So this is not a trailer. This is definitely a teaser.
For sure, for sure. It's real brief too, real brief.
So let's kind of go. So we get this first shot. We get the iconic Captain America shield.
I don't know if you might want to mute
embedded in a tree.
What's that sound there? You might want to mute the sound there before it. There you go.
Okay. I got it.
We don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube police. So
yeah. Unfortunately, they're all over the place. It's interesting too. You know, different studios seem to have different attitudes. Because it's kind of crazy the way they look at this stuff, because this is, I mean, we're doing commentary over a commercial essentially. I mean, this is a commercial, you know. So the idea that they would flag this, but they will, you know what I mean? Disney they do weird things like that. So especially with the music. So that's one of the reasons we don't like to have the audio for teasers when we do teasers, because the music gets flagged right away. So we can see this image, and obviously this is Falcon. It looks like he's practicing, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is a big criticism some people have of the idea of Falcon becoming Captain America, which is that he does not have any kind of super strength like Captain America does. So how would he actually get the shield to do these kinds of things? You know what I mean? You never wondered about that?
You know, we'll have to see. He one of the things they show us in this teaser that's coming up is they actually show us essentially the gentleman who they want to replace Captain America, who eventually becomes known as U.S. Agent. I don't know if they're going to introduce him as U.S. Agent from the jump, or if eventually he'll become known as U.S. Agent. But he's an augmented individual like Captain America, so it's quite possible that Sam might get augmented too. You know, either with a super soldier serum or a derivative version of it or something, or he might just, you know, from a martial arts standpoint, learn how to use his, you know, body weight and you know, total body power to be able to, you know, hurl the shield in a similar manner as Captain America, though probably not as forcefully or powerfully. I mean, Winter Soldier would be able to do it because of his bionic arm. So
that's the criticism. A lot of people feel that Winter Soldier should be Captain America because, you know, he's Bucky, for one thing. You know, Bucky is supposed to be the sidekick of Captain America. But the other thing is, because he has the augmented arm, he can actually throw the shield the way that Captain America does. Falcon doesn't have any superpowers, you know, so I like the idea that if he became augmented himself, it works. But we don't know. We don't know from this trailer if that's the way they're going to go, or they're just going to be like, oh no, anybody can throw Captain America's shield like that. Yeah, I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? So just saying that from a fan perspective. So I'm not sure what this is depicting, or as far as if it's depicting any specific characters or anything. It looks like that there's some sort of maybe infiltration going on or something like that. And then we had there was a very brief moment there where you can see that, like, the Falcon seems to be, well, I don't think he is. It's meant to make it look like he's maybe chasing them or something, but it's clearly, to me, looks like a different scene, you know? So, but we do get to see him doing the actual Falcon thing, which is flying, you know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. And then have a brief picture here of the Winter Soldier, apparently menacing someone with a gun. So it'd be interesting to see if he kind of reverts at all to his Winter Soldier ways, you know what I mean? Or if he's going to be more Bucky, you know what I mean? I think that would be interesting to play with. I don't know if they will. I think that would be interesting if they played around with that, like him being activated, or, you know what I mean, again, or something like that. And, you know, I think that'd be kind of interesting, but we'll see if that's what they're going to do or not. Now, this is the WandaVision, right? Because this stuff goes by fast. A lot of people are tripping out about this because they're like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? So this obviously seems to be, this first image at least, seems to be kind of like Leave It to Beaver inspired or something like that. You know,
or I Love Lucy too. There's elements of this that seems inspired by the Dick Van Dyke Show. We just saw the classic comic book costume that most people know her for. They're playing it when you watch it. they're playing with a lot of things. It's a lot of TV sitcoms. Whether you want to talk about it, there's elements inspired by I Love Lucy, Dick Van Dyke. There's elements looks like it's inspired by um, Family Ties. I mean, it's all over the place.
It goes by so quick. I can't even catch that middle image because there's this middle image that's just going by. So there we go. This looks like Brady Bunch almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Brady Bunch. Exactly.
Goes by so fast. I was having trouble just catching it. And then we get to see her kind of in the traditional costume, right? Which is kind of neat. I think this is supposed to be kind of like a my guess is she's like dressed up like a costume party or something. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like her official costume or anything. You know what I mean? That's just my speculation, but this is kind of like this is good fan service, I think. You know what I mean? This just kind of show her in the more traditional Scarlet Witch, comic inspired garb. And then we kind of saw went by real quick, but there was kind of like it looked like more of a modern look, but it's clearly black and white. That's interesting. So she's kind of got like more modern clothing on, but clearly is still in that black and white world. That's interesting. Right. And then go to this sort of image. Goes by real quick. It's obvious that it seems to me that they're going to be kind of spoofing a lot of other TV shows, I guess. That's what it looks like to me. Because obviously these looks are meant to evoke something. You know what I mean? Got a very classic image here, with the black and white and very kind of regal looking.
And that looks very much like the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you. Yeah, it does look like the Dick Van Dyke Show. Even the set looks like the Dick Van Dyke Show, their living room and everything. This one's clearly Brady Bunch, right? We got the staircase. That's clearly Brady Bunch. So we even have the staircase there. And then here's an image of them actually in the television. Interesting. Yeah, this is going to be a weird show. There's no doubt about it. Have you heard anything else about it? Because I'm kind of just sitting here like reacting to it like, man, this really looks like a weird show,
My understanding based off of what I've heard is that basically what they're going to do is Wanda is having a hard time dealing with Vision being gone and kind of her new reality. And so she uses her powers to create a new reality. And then within that reality, apparently she wants to create an idealized life for herself, essentially, and Vision. And she wants to bring Vision back. But something happens and it splinters that, perfect reality. And instead, because she's pulling from what in her subconscious mind is a perfect family reality, she ends up creating alternate sort of sitcom family realities.
Gotcha.
Because in her mind's eye, her ideal perfect family would be like, the family from Family Ties, or the relationship that Lucy had with Ricky Ricardo.
Okay.
And so she has this sort of psychotic break, and it ends up splintering and creating all these different realities, because this also is supposed to lead into the next Doctor Strange movie, which is actually called The Multiverse of Madness. So she's going to either directly or indirectly create these alternate realities. And in these alternate realities, we're probably going to see different versions of the characters that we might even know in the Doctor Strange movie, or possibly even in this reality. The Milkman might be Captain America. So who knows exactly what all they have planned to do with this, or who all we're going to see. And
it's interesting. It's interesting image here because you can clearly see that's her and that sort of Leave It to Beaver look, and then she's still there. You know what I mean? Apparently in reality, but it's still black and white. It's pretty weird. It's going to be a trippy show. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
Because she clearly is still in the black and white world, but then the show that she's on is on the TV, and she's still in the world. It's really weird. So yeah, we got this contrast again. We can see the sort of idealized version of Vision, and she's got the modern clothing, and she's in color when he's in black and white.
Right.
So the universe is expanding. So this is an interesting image here.
And like I said, that's I don't know if they're going to start off calling him U.S. Agent, or if eventually he will be known as U.S. Agent, and he will basically be the government's choice to basically be Captain America. They may want him to replace Captain America instead of Falcon or even Winter Soldier. But that is U.S. Agent, and he's a pretty bad dude.
So I was confused by that. All right, so this is not Captain America like a flashback or something. This is U.S. Agent.
Yeah, that is U.S. Agent, and he will basically be up to. He may start off as a good guy, but eventually he'll be up to no good. In the comics, he's sort of an extremist kind of a personality, very volatile. A very, I mean, if you can imagine, a very violent, mean-spirited Captain America. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that and how they bring that character across. I quite like U.S. Agent in the comics. I enjoy when he would show up because he was just always. I don't know. Like I said, he's a very extreme personality. But I like the idea of an extreme, somewhat militant Captain America in certain situations. So, but he's a very different personality than Steve Rogers. Because the super soldier serum, or the derivative version of it they give him, actually causes him to have issues. We're going to see a lot of characters we think that we know and love in different roles, whether you're talking about WandaVision or even talking about this with U.S. Agent. He's going to essentially be a very different version of Captain America. And there were some people online speculating that this may be that event may be celebrating something to do with the Avengers, because they have what looks like the Avengers A on those.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like a flashback or something. So that's interesting. Got an image here of Falcon and the Winter Soldier here. Just a very casual one. And we got the WandaVision logo. So what does this look like to you? What show do you think this is?
Family Ties.
Family Ties, okay.
Family Ties, yeah, because remember they had the stained glass window by the stairs?
Yeah.
And then someone pointed something out that I totally missed, but apparently there are pacifiers popping out of these cribs.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I just saw that. It goes by really, really quick. Yeah, you can see. You can kind of see something popping out.
Yeah,
there's the WandaVision logo there. Yeah, you can see it popping out. And then we got a teeny bit of Loki.
Right.
Yeah, looks like he's in some sort of prison here, which is kind of interesting because my understanding is that this is the Loki from the alternate reality where he stole the Tesseract in Endgame.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. So why would he be in prison if he got the Tesseract back? You know what I mean?
Well, and someone again online pointed out that logo on his jumpsuit has something to do with some sort of time enforcement agency or something. So he may
like
have
a multiverse police kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be really moving more. It's interesting because Kevin Feige came out, and when they announced the Disney Plus shows and everything, he talked about how they were going to be moving Marvel in some completely different directions with these Disney Plus shows and the films coming after that. Things are going to be very different. We're going to see characters in kind of different ways. So there's going to be a lot going on because with everything that's happened, the Avengers film, there's a lot more to protect and there's a lot more to police and monitor as far as what, in the Marvel universe is considered reality. So, but my understanding is that he's been detained by some kind of a time enforcement agency. I can't remember what they're called. It's not something I'm terribly familiar from the comics, but it does come from the comics. But it might be a more recent thing, and maybe that's why I'm not terribly familiar with it.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that because to me it was like, well, he got the Tesseract, so why would he be in prison? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
so we had a quick image there of the black and white. Goes by really quick, and we can kind of see a little team up image, I guess, of Winter
Yeah.
Soldier and Falcon, and that will be on Disney Plus, and that's it.